That music means it's time for Animal Talk. It's another Animal Talk rewind going back to 2001. Our guest today, Raven-Symoné. She was in the Dr. Doolittle movies, and she joins us to talk about Dr. Doolittle 2. We have some fun with her. Plus, in this hour, we talk to pet psychic Barbara Morrison, and Dr. Brad has a little bit of a rant as well. So here we go. It's Animal Talk Rewind.
In this hour of the show, we're talking to the animals, not just talking about the animals. That's right, we're talking to the animals. In the second half of the hour, we're going to be talking to Barbara Morrison, animal psychic. She's going to be here to help you understand your pet. She can do a psychic reading of your animal to tell you what's going on in your animal's head.
She's the real deal,
psychic.
too.
It's amazing.
She's real, yeah.
And also, she can also tell you your past life regression. If you always wondered what kind of animal you were in the past, she can help you with that too. So, anything animal psychic-wise, she is there. And we're also going to have an interview with Raven-Symoné. And what did Raven do, Brian?
Well, most recently she reprised her role as Charisse Doolittle on Dr. Doolittle 2. That she played Eddie Murphy's daughter.
That's right. So this is going to be an interesting hour, and of course, we'll take your phone calls at 1-800-738-1886, or you can email us at questions@animaltalkradio.com. And you're listening to Mark, Brian, and Dr. Brad here on the Animal Talk Radio Network.
Looking for a comedy club for your stand-up chameleon? Give Animal Talk a call.
1-800-PET-1886, 1-800-738-1886. Pick up the phone and give us a call so we can make your world animalogically safe and sound. And coming up later in the hour, we're going to be talking to Barbara Morrison, animal psychic. She can reach out and touch animals psychically and tell you what's going on in their heads and in their lives. And she can also talk to pets who have passed on. She can help channel that so you can know how they're doing and what's happening. And she can also do past life regressions, all kinds of other stuff. But now I'd like to turn the microphone over to Brian Donovan to introduce our very special guest.
Well, our next guest began her career as a child model in her native Atlanta, Georgia. When the family moved to New York, the prestigious Ford modeling agency signed her. In 1989, she auditioned for a part in the feature film Ghost Dad, starring Bill Cosby. Although she was too young for the role, her personality and ability for memorizing lines greatly impressed the casting directors, who brought her to Cosby's attention. After meetings with the writers and producers of The Cosby Show, as well as with Cosby himself, she landed the role as Olivia Kendall and made her television debut in 1989. Since then, she went on to star as Nicole in the top-rated series Hanging with Mr. Cooper and made her film debut in The Little Rascals. Also, a couple real important milestones for this young actress. Youngest person to be signed to a music contract with MCA. Do you know that, Jamie?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, ambassador for children of General Colin Powell's Children First program. She's starred in HBO's Happily Ever After, Lifetime's Take Your Daughter to Work special. Alex Haley's Queen is a young queen, and she's been on A Different World, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Sesame Street, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on.
And this is her music in the background.
And our guest, Raven-Symoné. Welcome to Animal Talk.
Oh, thank you. I have to say, that is the longest intro I've had.
Oh, my.
And thank you. I think you know more about me than I know.
I just paraphrase it. I mean, this just keeps going on and on and on. In the last 15 years, I myself have dropped out of college and I've had very miserable, failed personal relationships. So I've done a lot too as well.
Oh, okay. Well,
of course, your latest stint was reprising your role as Charisse in Dr. Doolittle 2.
Yes.
How was that? What kind of experience was that working with Eddie Murphy and all the critters?
actually, it was a real cool experience. The animals were very well trained, and Eddie Murphy was not. No, I'm just joking. He's great. I mean, when the camera's rolling, he is such. Well, you see how he is, and most of the stuff that you see is improv. Great environment to be on, I have to say. I did not want to leave. But, you know, when the camera's not rolling, he's so professional but still cracking the jokes. It was a very cool experience.
Excellent. You know, last week when Jamie was telling me that we were going to have you on, he said, I thought he said anyways, he said, yeah, Raven-Symoné, she plays a 16-year-old, but she's actually 18. I thought you said that, Jamie. And when I went and saw the movie, I said, you know, I'll buy that the animals are talking before I buy that she's only 16 years old. But you're only 15, weren't
I'm
you?
only 15 years old.
Does your dad have to walk patrol around the house with a baseball bat to keep the boys away, or what?
No, the boys are pretty scared of him, so they don't come around anyway.
Oh man, I guess. Speaking of your dad, not too many people would move to New York just because a talent agency said they had a cute kid. It sounds like your family has always been pretty supportive. How much of your success do you owe to your family?
All of it, pretty much. Them and Mr. Cosby. If it wasn't for them, I would not, be doing what I'm doing now. And Mr. Cosby, if it wasn't for him, I definitely wouldn't be doing, because he's the one who gave me my start. But of course, if it wasn't for my parents, I'd still be in Atlanta, Georgia.
Are they with you now?
They are with me now. Actually, my dad's in the other room taking care of my brother.
Yeah, tell him we said hi.
Okay, I will.
Okay. Tell me about your name. How did you get the name Raven?
Well, my parents named me Raven-Symoné because the raven is the first bird that flew off the ark, but it never came back because it found land. So my parents loved that story. And Symone, I don't know exactly where that came from.
So, I didn't even know that about the ark. I thought it was a dove or something. Or a pelican. I don't know.
The doves.
Yeah, they sent a couple of birds out first, and then that one never came back.
Yeah. Hey, I know you're only you're 15 now, right?
Yes.
Man, I still can't get that through my head. I have your birth date in front of me, and I'm counting it out on my fingers. I'm like, no,
you know what?
this
Let me
doesn't
tell you,
work.
the oldest that I've gotten is 21.
Okay.
So whatever you say.
All right. Did you see the original Dr. Doolittle? Do you remember that movie?
Yes, I did.
Really? With Rex Harrison? You saw that?
Uh-huh.
That almost ruined the studio.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a huge flop. And besides the name, there's very little resemblance to the original Dr. Doolittle. Do you think it's obviously an improved version? But what do you think is the biggest contribution that the new Dr. Doolittle has over the old one?
I think the teens are into it much more than they would have the last one.
Right.
Because you not only have Eddie Murphy in there, and of course it's because it's a comedy as well, but you not only have Eddie Murphy in the second one, you have Little Zane, which is, one of the biggest rappers. Yeah,
you know what? I'm kind of bouncing around here, but I read a couple different things regarding Zane, Little Zane.
Uh-oh.
Did you have anything to do with the casting of your love interest in Dr. Doolittle?
It was so funny, let me tell you. I got on the set. I knew I was going to have a boyfriend, but I didn't participate in the picking or whatever.
Right.
But I got on the set. They were like, well, we picked your boyfriend. I was like, oh, my goodness, I hope he's cute. I hope he's cute. Let me give you the history first. Me and Zane live in the same city, and we used to run into each other at the malls, and we were like, well, we really need to work together.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was always kind of cute. So,
yeah, okay.
I had to put that in there. So when we got on the set, they were like, well, who would be your top 3 choices of young, hip people today? And he, I think, was number 2. They were like, oh, good. I was like, why you say good on his name? What's going on? And they said, Little Zane's your boyfriend. So inside, I screamed or whatever. And then I called all of my girlfriends, and now they don't talk to me anymore.
Oh, okay. Hey, and what about that almost on-screen kiss? Would that have been your first on-screen kiss if it had happened?
Yes, that would have been my first on-screen kiss. Me and the monkey had to talk afterwards.
What did you? What was your reaction when you read that part of the script? Were you like, "What's this all about?"
I stopped right when they said, Cherise leans in for the kiss. I just stopped and said, oh, yes, I get to kiss him. And then my dad was like, no, Raven, read on. I was like,
oh, so there's the truth. Your dad actually had scribble marks all over the script and added his own.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you actually get to work with the animals? I know with technology now they can put anything in the picture, and you don't actually have to be right there with them. But were the animals on set with you?
Yes. All the animals that you see in the movie were real, except for like certain over-the-shoulder shots where, things like that.
Right.
But we used more real animals in this one than we did in the last one. I got to work with a monkey, a raccoon, the chameleon, the dog, and the bear.
Really?
Yeah.
But what about, the chameleon you did work with?
I did work with.
Okay, that's a funny little. I think he's one of my favorite actors today. That little chameleon.
Yeah, I think he should get an Emmy.
Yeah. Do the animals slow down the production at all? I mean, we do animal shows here, just little state fair things, but sometimes the animals, they're not real cooperative.
These were very cooperative. They were very professional. As long as they get their gummy bear after they do their little trick,
their gummy
cool.
bear. Oh, okay.
Sometimes, of course, the animal that doesn't listen because they get distracted. But most of the time, the tapings went very quick. exactly.
Brian's pretty much the same way. You give him a gummy bear after a segment, he's all good to go.
See, I wish I was treated that way. They didn't give me any gummy bears, but that's okay.
All right, and how much of the animal element was computer imagery? I mean, you said
Probably just the mouths.
really.
moving.
That's it.
And even then, sometimes I think they got the animals kind of when they're chewing to, kind of talk. But it's less technology, and the technology you can't even tell.
I think that makes a difference because as good as computer graphics are these days, a real animal's face, there's something endearing to that you really can't get through computer graphics, and I imagine that's why they did that.
Definitely.
Do you have any pets of your own?
I do. I have 2 chinchillas, and I have a big Briard.
Really?
Yes.
Do you train your dog?
I don't. I just give him love.
Oh.
And take him out, so he better love me because I have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
So here you are, Charisse Doolittle, who talks to the animals. You don't even train your own dog?
Nothing but love.
Nothing but love. All they need is love.
All right, your latest CD is titled Undeniable.
Yes.
And you did tour with NSYNC.
I did tour with NSYNC.
Did you have to keep those boys in line or what? What happened?
No, actually, they were really good.
Really?
They play a lot of basketball. They had their own basketball court and everything. Really sweet people. And it was funny because I knew them before they were in sync.
Mm-hmm.
They used to perform in Orlando because that's where they came from, and I did a performance with them before, so it was real cool.
Excellent.
Was that just a private label deal that you did?
It actually was my own record label.
Was it this?
Huh?
Bounce? Bounce is the one I liked off of it.
Oh, Bounce? Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
That's the one I was digging off of it.
Oh,
I listened to a couple of the tracks,
yeah.
but this is the one I liked.
Oh.
I was like, wow, she's good enough to get kicked out of Destiny's Child.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, I really like that one.
Thank you.
Speaking of child stars here, after ending a famous TV show, The Cosby Show, if you were to follow the script of a lot of child actors, you'd get caught up in drugs and all sorts of negative things.
Mm-hmm.
What keeps you on the straight and narrow? Why are you so productive in all these new projects every minute?
I have to say it's definitely my friends and family. They keep me very grounded because if they see one spark, I hardly ever flare up of, that attitude of usually you see stars with I'm the best or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
the ego or whatever. But if they even think they see a spark, they don't tolerate that.
Oh, they just get you right back in line, eh?
They get me right back in line. And I was raised in Atlanta, and so I grew up there. I never really lived in L.A.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that probably keeps you out of a lot of trouble, eh?
Yeah.
And let's hear it. Is there going to be Dr. Doolittle 3?
Me and Zane are talking about it.
Oh, you and Zane are talking
yeah, we're
about
talking about it, Doolittle.
Just a production meeting, Dad. Just a production meeting.
Just production meeting. Yeah, we think that we should save the world, but we don't know.
Title, Miss Doolittle, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Exactly. We have to put the thank you very much in there.
All right. Hey, I asked you earlier if you could do me a favor by doing maybe a liner for Animal Talk.
Yes.
Are you up to that?
Yeah.
Okay, because we heard about your ability to memorize lines. Just at the drop of a hat, you can memorize something. You're just unbelievable from what we hear. Okay. Yes, I am unbelievable.
No.
Okay. So the liner is going to be. We'll produce this later.
Okay.
And Jamie's going to say something like, "What does Raven-Symoné of Dr. Doolittle 2 have to say about Animal Talk?" And then your line. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's hear it.
Mark, if you call me Ramon one more time, I can't even say it.
All right.
Come on.
Okay, no.
One more time. We can
one
do
more
this
time.
later. Yeah, go ahead.
Mark, if you call me Ramon one more time, you'll be eating your next cheeseburger through a straw.
Okay. And, of course, that's because Mark Hannes, he's infamous, I guess, for mispronouncing guest names. And and there she is. Do you have your...
Hey, I'm here, okay? I've been listening, Raven.
Oh, I love you. They told me to say it. It wasn't my fault.
Well, it is because I do tend to mispronounce words every now and then, and I did say Raven-Symoné instead of Raven-Symoné.
What do you mean? Mark, you introduced Ted Nugent as Led Zeppelin.
I did not.
You did too.
I have that same problem.
Oh, you are quite the diplomat, let me tell you. These guys aren't as nice as you are, nor nearly as cute, so that's okay.
All right. Do you have a website where folks can get a hold? Maybe join a fan club or get some photos of you and your new your projects.
Yeah. www.raven-Symone.com.
Raven-Symoné, thank you very much for being on Animal Talk. We know you're very busy. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much for having me. I had a great time.
Excellent.
Bye, Mark.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for setting me up.